Bidenomics is working.
Meanwhile,
most renters feel like they will never be able to own a home.
The typical starter home is now worth more than $1 million. For many buyers, that means achieving the American dream of owning a home is increasingly difficult, if not impossible.
And Bidenomics is working.
Listen to this stat. Since 2020, food prices have increased 26%, and we are all feeling it when we go grocery shopping.
Bidenomics. It's working. It's a term we're very proud of, I must tell you.
Gas prices are on the climb across the U.S.
Prices are nowhere near the levels they were at in 2020.
And Bidenomics is working.
So if you get 3 consecutive monthly readings on job gains that are less than 125,000, I'm beginning to smell a recession.
Bidenomics is working.
It's working.
That's a beautiful ad and needs to be played everywhere all the time. At least 5 times, cackling Kamala praised Bidenomics and the policies of the Kamala Biden administration that fueled this recession we're about to enter into, according to many experts today. She said Bidenomics is working July 2023, August 2023, again in August 2023, again in August 2023, and again in mid-August 2023. 5 times within the past, within the past year, she said it, at least. You think it's working? How do you feel about it? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Weak jobs data, here's what the SOM rule is that's been triggered. And she's been right every single time on recession predictions since 1970 with this rule. Whether she's alive or dead now, it doesn't matter. The rule always holds, according to these experts. It's seen by many, Fox Business says, as historically accurate recession indicator. July jobs report that just came in being viewed as a recession warning. The markets are responding accordingly, says chief economist at Comerica Bank, which is based here in Dallas. At least his job is, with the jobless rate expectedly rising on Friday, the so-called SOM rule is now in play. Named after former Federal Reserve economist Claudia Sahm, the rule has successfully predicted every recession for the past 54 years. That's profound, isn't it? I guess that's why she was on the Fed. It stipulates that the economy is in the early stages of recession when the 3-month moving average of the jobless rate is at least 0.5 percentage point higher. In other words, the jobless rate keeps going up a 0.5 point or more for 3 months in a row on an average that is higher than the 12-month low of unemployment. Okay? So whatever the lowest point of unemployment is in the past 12 months, if you have 3 of those that are a 0.5 point or more above that lowest one, you're entering a recession shortly. It stipulates that the economy is in the early stages of recession when the 3-month moving average of the jobless rate is at least 0.5 point higher than the 12-month low. Over the past 3 months, the unemployment rate has averaged 4.13%, which is 0.63, more than a 0.5 point in the rule, percentage points higher than the 3.5 rate recorded in July of last year, crossing that threshold. So here we are, we've hit it. And then you see the market crash on Friday and today, particularly in America, and it's hitting all over the world because their economies, the dollar is based, their economies are based on the dollar. And when we go bad, it does affect them. Mostly bad all the time. It's profoundly bad. Okay? The VIX. So there's all these independent markers. The VIX, VIX, is the market's fear gauge among experts in the market. Okay? The VIX number jumped to its highest intraday level since March of 2020, 4 years ago, or more than 4 years ago, actually. Okay? So the people that are on Wall Street have the VIX, the highest point of fear about where the market's headed since we've seen it in 4 years. Bitcoin even dropped 15% in less than 24 hours. And by the way, I wrote this down because it's so important and because I'm not a financial expert. I never am and will never be that. That's not who I am, and that's okay, right? As long as you have people that are experts helping you. Charlie Gasparino said today on Fox News also, he's the 40 to 50-year veteran reporter in business on Fox and other entities. He said that we came out, because all these people, including a nice sweet lady the other day on why she's still voting for Kamala, she said that the pandemic is why everything's in disarray right now. And in fact, Gasparino properly said that we came out of the pandemic strong. After the pandemic, we came out of it strong. The unemployment numbers, the jobs, the jobs numbers, the economy, we came out of it strong. And Joe Biden was handed a step. What that means is he's saying that Joe Biden literally was handed a strong economy of 1.4% inflation. Everything was good. It was humming along. And then this administration comes in and boom, within a year and a half has blown everything up by all their spending money and all their regulations. Here's a great tweet. It's on my Twitter feed. You can see it for yourself and share away at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, CHRASKROK. Your 401k is getting unburdened from what has been. Remember Kamala said, her saying, has been unburdened by what has become, or has been unburdened. Your past has been unburdened by what is to come, or something of that nature. So he's using the Kamala infamous line she said millions and millions of times over the past several years, that your 401k is getting unburdened by what has been. I could pull up a thing that's all over social media with like her saying that and quoting it for like every other day for years. It's rather horrible to listen to. But 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Who or what do you blame for today's stock market crash? And what kind of economic policy do you think Kamala will have versus Trump? Which one would be better? Economist Stephen Wall also said today, who comes on this show and on many of our other shows here on the station, said that, and this is where somebody said it earlier, and I said, this is it. It was in my notes, in my different stories I highlighted throughout the day today. Economist Stephen Moore said, Trump has dropped in the polls, as he has dropped in the polls over the last 10 days, because of this Kamala phenomenon, the market has reacted in a negative way. And that's what one of our callers said, Tibor said about an hour ago. Because of Trump going down in the polls and Kamala surging over the last 10 days, this has become a Kamala phenomenon. The market has reacted in a negative way. They know somebody's coming in that's going to be worse than Biden with these economic policies, or the same or worse. And that is why a new YouGov poll said today that 45% of voters believe their personal finances will be better off under President Trump if he beats Kamala. Only 25% said the same if she wins. So 25 to 45. By a 20-point margin, Americans know that Trump will handle their wallets better, and you will have a better financial situation. It's true. Everybody knows it. The question is, do you hate him so much that you want to keep this inflation going and walk into a recession here very shortly? If that's what you want, are you willing to continue with housing being almost exactly double what it was the day Trump left office? Gas prices literally being almost exactly double what they were the day he left office, and losing money out your hourly pay? Maybe you are. I hope not. Wikipedia, by the way, has literally gone online and locked the definition of recession, and they've changed it so that it doesn't make Kamala and Joe look bad. They just did that. You cannot trust Wikipedia. In fact, the co-founder of Wikipedia, that literally has for several years now said it's an embarrassment. They've turned it into a Democrat propaganda machine. Don't. It's been bastardized. Don't use it. The only time I trust it is on issues that are not political. And I still don't trust it. It's just one little source. But no, it's not a good source. It's not a valid source for your kids' term papers and all that stuff. Next, I want to talk about this. We are, I believe, over the past week or so, snatching, Republicans and Trump particularly, we are snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. We are literally on this path of destruction because Trump not able to control himself and not able to stay focused and win. This is his battle, and it's his party and my party. It is what it is, to lose, and we're losing, and we're going to lose if this keeps up. I swear to you, we are. I'm going to tell you why coming up next on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. We have a bad situation going on right now. We really do. And the situation is, I listened to the Trump rally over the weekend. Did you? I was doing my lawn. I did a lot of crazy hard lawn work, and I have the blisters to show it. If you're watching me on Facebook, I'm showing them off right now. Just follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, ChrisKrock. And I literally was like, what the heck are you doing, Trump? He attacked the Republican who is you don't have to like him, I don't care. He is wildly successful in Georgia, Brian Kemp. Brian had already committed to voting for Donald Trump in 2024. He is mad at Brian because he didn't go along with the president's efforts to really try to stop what he thought was fraud in Georgia that cost him that state. And instead of not going back there and not relitigating that, you're literally tied with a woman who is grossly incompetent and who is a socialist Marxist leftist as to the left of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, who now has reportedly gone back on every single policy she's ever had and doesn't have the guts to say it herself, and has no policies up on her website when she's running for president, and she's 2 weeks into this. No policies. None. And has given no interviews one-on-one and no press conferences, even though she's declared that she's running for president, now been nominated unofficially by the Democrats. And here is Trump at a Georgia rally in Atlanta, in the same place Kamala was a few weeks, like last week, with a woman named Megan D with 2 E's, Stallion, who sings about her fat P word and her wet P word in 2 different songs. And only 10,000 people showed up there. But at Trump's rally there a week later, every seat is sold out and nobody can get in. There's thousands of people that couldn't get in right outside. I am not making this up. This isn't just some thing. And he literally decides to attack the governor of Georgia, who is a Republican that is wildly successful and wildly supported by the people of Georgia, just because of the last election and the issues he had. He also decided to attack the governor of Georgia's wife, who said she would not vote for him. And I want to read what my buddy Eric Erickson, who is all things Georgia, said in his blog today. And I agree with this, by the way. I was really like, what the hell are you doing when I was mowing my lawn, saying that you're going after him? This is how you lose. Do you understand that? This is how you lose. And then, of course, he has still gone on the attack for Kamala for supposedly not being black when she said she is, and not being Indian when she says she is. There is nothing to gain from that. You will not gain 1 vote from that, but you will lose votes for that. So my buddy properly wrote this. He said, ask yourself, if we're losing and we lose the election this fall, ask yourself, maybe instead of it being stolen, it was because 100 days before the election, he decided to attack Kamala Harris's race instead of her positions. And 99 days before the election, he decided to attack the sitting Republican governor of Georgia and his wife when he had already said he'd vote for Trump in 2024, support him. He says, if this keeps up, you're going to have a lot of Republicans that start reasoning, you know what, I can put up with Kamala for 2 years so that I can lock in the House and the Senate in 2026, and be far better to go through that and put up with Trump for 4 years and on the down ballot disasters that would come in 2026, he says. Some Republicans see this behavior, he says, and think the party would be better off with Trump losing and pushing him out than those tied to him, get rid of all of them. It's foolish thinking, but it's growing, he says. We also have a column today from The Hill, or a news story from The Hill today. GOP lawmakers question Trump's readiness for Joe Biden's exit from the race. two lines from this I highlighted. I want to ask you a few questions first. How do you think President Trump attacking Georgia's popular Republican governor and his wife and bringing up Kamala's race and other personal attacks are going to affect his chances of winning in November? How do you think doing these things is going to affect his chances of winning in November in Georgia and all over the country, really? And what do you think about Trump's continued personal attacks and mentions of cheating in his recent rallies? Here's what I say. We're losing again. And right now it's tied. And I heard some people on Fox that are pollsters say today, and I agree with them, that it's quite possible this woman's going to be in the lead in a week or two after the Democratic convention. And meanwhile, he's attacking a race and he's attacking a Republican governor of Georgia, a state he needs to win. And didn't win in 2020, according to the, whatever. And his wife. What are you doing? You have the world in the palm of your hand and you're letting it go. Danny in California, you are on WBAP. Welcome.
What's going on, Chris?
Hey.
Hey, here's the deal. Kamala Harris, at this point, she doesn't need to go out in campaign at all.
Right.
All she needs to do is she can just hide, just like Mr. Poopsie Pansy did a while back. That's all she needs to do. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to make sure that Trump. Look, I'm a Trump supporter,
and I am too. Mm-hmm.
But Trump just disappoints me like there's no tomorrow, and he's digging his own hole. And
yes.
The more he talks, the more he's just going to dig himself. And all these people, what they're doing is just watching him, just play, just destroy himself.
Yes.
And by him destroying himself, he's basically destroying all of us.
And the country. And that's exactly right.
Exactly. And
that's exactly right.
He's not disciplined at all. And the problem is...
Let me put you on hold. We have to go, but I want to let you finish your other half. Okay, Danny?
Gotcha.
Stand by. All right, we have four lines open. Chime in right now. How do you think President Trump attacking Georgia's governor and his wife and Kamala's race and other personal attacks, how are they going to affect the chances of winning, his chances of winning in November and our chances of winning? And what do you think about Trump's continued personal attacks and mentions of cheating in his recent rallies? To me, I want you to actually imagine that we lose, because I think that's what's going to happen if this keeps up. I wish I was just saying that. And you'll incredulously watch the polls and watch him lose on election day because of this crap. It's all up to him. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. And I also want to share with you some other stuff. We have a new map that tells you what's going on with the Sun Belt for Kamala, and it's bad. I'll share that with you next. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. After a recent Kamala rally, supporters of hers were interviewed by Fox. Hey, can you tell me some of her accomplishments? Here's what they all said.
Attorney General in California, and she was the senator from California. I really don't know much of what she did.
I'm not sure I know enough about her accomplishments to answer that question.
The way that she carries herself.
She was Attorney General in her state. She moved up to becoming, the Vice President of the United States. So she has definitely made her stamp in history of being the first African American female Vice President, and soon to be first Vice President as a woman of color.
Okay. This country wants substance and solutions.
That's something that wasn't cut out of there. Okay, so there you go. That was excess there. Sorry about that. They cannot name one thing she did, and they're out there screaming and yelling, screaming, but they're out there and going rah, 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 cheering for Kamala. So there you are. And then you hear stuff like this from MSNBC. Just 25% of registered voters say they'd be better off financially under President Harris. Nearly half said they'd be better off with Trump. And what's happening? Trump's still talking about her being an Indian or being talking about her racial identity. Wow. How's that helping us? And Trump literally yesterday at an Atlanta rally attacked the Republican governor of Georgia and his wife. She won't vote for him, but he said he will, he said, and yet he still attacks the guy with bitterness back from the election of 2020 where he said the guy didn't, fight for him hard enough with the election results and all that kind of stuff. Also, a few more things here. We got 3 lines open at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. How do you think President Trump attacking attacking Georgia's popular Republican governor in a state he must win and bring up Kamala's race, how and other personal attacks, how do you think they're going to affect his chances of winning in November? And what do you think about Trump's continued personal attacks and mentions of cheating in his recent rallies like yesterday in Georgia? To me, we're losing again. And I want you to literally imagine what it will be like to lose this November. Because right now, we're losing. So I want you to imagine what that'll be like. I want you to realize that's very likely right now. It's only President Trump that can stop it, but unfortunately, he's careening on a path that'll have us fly over the cliff, like Thelma and Louise. Abigail Shrier, with a column the other day, called Republicans are going after Kamala all wrong. A few lines from her editorial. Republicans have once again been outfoxed by the installment of Kamala, suddenly. Instead of having avoided a primary, Kamala herself can sell herself as a moderate to a public that has no time to unpack whether she was or wasn't the official border czar. No time. She smiles and laughs a lot. She looks like the kind of person you'd want to unwind with over a glass of Pinot Grigio. Hard to imagine, but that's what she says. She can present herself as a centrist and count on the media to spearhead the coverage, to cover it up. She's right. Meantime, today, a brand new poll coming out from CBS. Kamala has put the Sun Belt back in play. Georgia, Arizona, and North Carolina are now back in play. A new CBS News poll shows Harris and Trump tied across the collective battleground states, erasing Trump's previous lead over Biden. Harris' campaign counting on a strategy that involves engaging Republicans who have endorsed Harris, growing her coalition with minority, female, and young voters, and investing heavily in mobilizing the groundswell of volunteers who have raised their hand. This is Obama 2.0. But it's literally a woman who doesn't know her butt from a hole in the ground and whose policies are to the left of Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. In the last 2 weeks, Axios says, the Harris campaign added 370,000 new volunteers in Georgia, Arizona, and North Carolina, among others. The critical states. Lindsey Graham, who I know half the audience is not a fan of in any way, shape, or form. I'm a fan of his one half the time, the other half time he's horribly ridiculous. But he begged Trump to stop his race-based attacks on Kamala, and I do too. Now, this also from Abigail Shrier, a couple other sentences here from her column. The contest between Trump and Kamala will come down to this. Will Republicans let her get away with it? Will they let her get away with it? All that she's done, all of her policies, all of her positions, will they let her get away with it? That's exactly right. And we're wallowing instead. Republicans right now are wallowing and saying it's unfair, and they were, blind to a better strategy going forward. Here's what the wallowing looks like: pushing the idea that Harris is a DEI hire, slut-shaming Harris for her affair earlier in her career with Willie Brown, the powerful Democrat politician in California. And Republicans ought to confront before leveling any attack on her is, will this energize my supporter or hers? What does questioning whether she's black or not do for us? It doesn't do anything for us, but it does a lot for her. If Republicans want to win, Abigail Shrier wrote, they must put Harris through the 2024 primary she never had. Inform voters of her record. She says, inform voters of the record that Harris is now scrambling to disavow and the media is working desperately to erase. And most of all, for Trump-Vance, they must hold two ideas in their heads. Yes, you got played, and also bitterness will sink you. You'll lose it. You'll lose the election. And I agree. All right, 800-288-WBAP is our number. And Danny in California, I wanted to be able to finish off your point We got two lines open, 800-288-WBAP. Chime in right now. Danny in California, go ahead and finish off your point.
So, Kamala is happy hour lady, party lady.
The cackler.
That's what she reminds me of. I think, ever since Biden got taken out, pretty much, I already knew. I had a feeling that, Biden was getting a lot of the black vote. Trump was getting a lot of the black vote, right? For Biden, because they were not happy with Biden.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? A lot of these people that were supposed to be going to Trump, now they're going to be going to Kamala, and the reason being is because she is a black lady,
right?
And she is the first black lady that's going to be eventually a president. Media is playing along with it. The meeting that she had that Trump just had recently. The conference, the black journalists and whatnot.
Yes, and ABJ.
That was a big mistake. He should not have gone to that. I don't know.
Well, he could have gone to it if he can control himself. It would have been fine.
I disagree. It doesn't help him anything. He's not going to gain anything out of that. He's not going to gain. Look,
you know what? You're right. Kamala didn't go, and she's black, and she didn't go.
Exactly.
She didn't need to. She blew him off. He could have gone and won, but he didn't, so he lost because anyways, but go ahead. Look,
Trump is going to get some black people. Yeah, absolutely, he will. But that's about it. He's not going to get every single one of them. There's no way around it. So there's no reason to why go there and destroy himself, because that's what he did. He looked like an ass.
Yes,
it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I appreciate your call, my friend. All right, can we squeeze in one more or no? Okay, Jeff in Albuquerque, ABQ. You are live on WBAP. What do you got?
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. Trump's got to knock it off. He's his own worst enemy. He's just really got to stop the rhetoric. So what? The 2020 election is over. Drop it, forget it, move on. He needs to quit attacking people. He's just hurting us.
That's exactly right. He says he's fighting for us, but he's hurting us. He's going to hurt all of us.
All of us. I don't know how or who that's going to get to him to say, dude, hit them on their policies, Biden-Harris policies. Attack them on that. We used to vote with our pocketbook. And I don't know when that changed, because of the last election, because we were doing well under Trump. But he's got to pull out the key points of how they failed us for the last 3.5 years.
If he's too busy talking about is Kamala really black?
I know.
What in God's name is he? I swear to you, it's like he's working. The left always lies and says he's a Russian operative. It seems like he's a Democrat operative, doesn't it?
It does. Something strange about it. But I wish he would stop it off and just hammer him on the points that we've all seen for 3.5 years.
Yeah, because if he just focused on her record and her policies and her results, he wins hands down.
It's a win.
I mean, he literally 20% of Americans, 45% of Americans say his policies would be better for their wallets right now in a brand new poll, and it's 20 points higher than they say Kamala would do. So there's no excuse to not be winning right now.
No excuse.
But he is Trump's working so hard to lose the election as of late. Yes,
it's so strange. I really appreciate it, Chris.
Appreciate you. Okay, next is Gregory in Southlake. That's next, Greg. So don't go anywhere, Gregory. Don't go anywhere. I'm also going to share this, a little flashback. Kamala sharing why illegals actually really, really help us. That's who she is. And that's why we must get it out or we're going to lose. Next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP. Now on FM at 93.3, 800-288-9227 is our number, 800-288-9227. It's amazing, a complete and total transformation of Kamala. And as Jerry Baker said in the Wall Street Journal today, so many Democrats were alarmed at the thought of a Harris nomination. The same nomination they now trumpet as triumphant. Only two things, he says, can derail this transfiguration of her. First is a focused, disciplined, and relentless Republican campaign raising the debate above the vacuity of social media memes and reminding voters that the Democrat candidate is the same person, her party is the same party that she was 2 weeks ago. These policies didn't evolve, by the way. She didn't transform every single radical leftist policy, which are probably between 10 and 20 policies that can never win running for president in this country, but are now gone. I keep hearing Democrats like Harold Ford Jr. On the 5 today say, well, people change. People change. Yeah, dude. They change the moment they get handed the presidency. Like, she changed 2 weeks ago, not 20 years ago. And he talked about George Wallace, becoming renouncing his segregationist later in his life and stuff like that. This woman, this is not just one political view. This is not just about race, for example. This is about 20 different issues, not one. So it's a fraud. She's a fraud. Everybody knows it. But when Trump's doing his own hurting, when he talks about her race, when he talks about the election being rigged, when he attacks the Republican governor of Georgia, a state he must win pretty much from every story I've seen, he must win this one. And he attacks the guy and his wife yesterday at a rally. I'm mowing my lawn and halftime going, what in God's name are you doing? You are hurting us and our chances. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Chime in right now. We got 3 lines open. How do you think President Trump attacking Georgia's governor and bringing up Kamala's race are going to affect his chances of winning in November? And what do you think about Trump's continued personal attacks and mentions of cheating in recent rallies? I think we're going to lose if he keeps this up. So, and Baker said one more thing in the Wall Street Journal today. He said the hosannas ring anew. They will ring anew like they did the other day when she was announced 2 weeks ago. With her vice presidential nominee, they'll ring out again. And then we'll have a week of a Democrat convention like no other. So she's going to ride high for the next 2 weeks. And then by then, I was listening today to some pollsters on Fox, and I agree with them, Kamala will then be solidly in the lead. And Trump can keep attacking a race, saying that the election was stolen and he was cheated out in votes in 2020, and attacking the Republican governor of Georgia while destroying our chances not only for the presidency to restore this country back, but also our chances to win the House and the Senate, which are extremely within range. But he can ruin that by having down ballot people vote away, or not show up or vote away. Baker says Operation Transfiguration, where they're transfigurating her, may be the most audacious plan a political party has ever undertaken. It requires the effective deployment of a full toolkit of press and social media deception, selective editorial amnesia, gaslighting, and memory holding. So there you go. All right, Gregory in Southlake, then we'll talk to you, Mike, in Frisco, plus your call at 800-288-WBAP. Gregory, Southlake, hi, WBAP.
Hey, Chris, see if you can resist the urge to talk over me for 2 minutes, because what I have
You're starting out with an attack, dude. Just, what? You just started out the thing by being all negative, dude. Take a chill pill and just freaking talk. All right? Everything's fine. Go ahead. Oh, he hung up. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Dude, next time call and just go. I want to hear you, even if you think I'm totally wrong. That's totally cool, but come on, bud. All right, Mike in Frisco, you're on WBAP.
Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.
I have to tell you, I'm frustrated, and I can't tell you how frustrated I am by all of these pundits taking something that was said in one day and over-exaggerating the importance of it. Do you really think that the voters, when it comes November, are going to go into the polls and say, my gas prices are up, my food prices are up, my insurance costs are up, my rent is up, but Trump said something bad about the governor of Georgia, who I don't even know who he is, so maybe I should vote for Kamala. I think people way over-exaggerate what happens on any one given day. I can tell you, I don't think anybody's going to be thinking about what he said about Kamala or the governor of Georgia when it comes time to vote.
Let me tell you why I think you're totally wrong. I did not in any way mean people outside of Georgia with Governor Kemp. I mean the people in Georgia, a wildly popular governor. This man has won election twice. And he is deeply popular there. So Trump, relax, please. Hello, relax. You don't understand. When somebody is nasty against somebody who is revered in your state, that doesn't make people want to vote for him. And number two, it is revolting to people, many people, to hear you say the woman's not black when she is. She's black and she's Indian. It's revolting. So let me just, I want to rephrase this and ask you in a simpler way. Do you think him attacking the Georgia governor in Georgia helps? And do you think him attacking Kamala on her race helps? Okay, does that help? Do those two things help him in Georgia and nationwide?
I'm sorry, you cut out on me, so I couldn't hear you. I don't know what happened. But
okay, here's what I said. I said, do you think it helps when he attacks the governor of Georgia in Georgia when he's wildly popular? And do you think it helps when he attacks Kamala on her race? Do you think it helps him?
I don't think it helps him, but I don't think it hurts him as much as you claim it does.
I hope you're right, but I'll be shocked.
People are going to be concerned about that when they have to go to the polls.
I think that people, when someone's repulsed, they don't want to vote for you. When somebody is repulsed, they don't want to vote for you. When you are repulsed, you don't want to support anything with somebody who has offended you and is repulsive to you. That's all there is to it. They might not want to vote for her policies, but they ain't going to vote for him because they are repulsed by him. Period. And that's how you lose. But I love you, and I love his policies too. But I'm telling you, it makes people not want to vote for him. It does not help him. All right? I'm the turd in your stocking. I'm the turd in your punch bowl. I'm the piece of coal in your stocking. But you're going to get a bigger one on election day if this keeps up. That's just all there is to it. Next, vouchers. How do you feel about vouchers? A new poll shows Texans, a lot of them, well over a majority, like almost 70% of them really want vouchers as Abbott prepares to make it happen. I will tell you what the proposals are, and we can talk about whether or not you support them next on the Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.